Hello, hello. I don't hear you. If you're talking. Alright guys, for some patience. This is the guy we're gonna be coaching.
Hello?
Hello, okay.
Hello?
Works now. I hear you.
I cannot hear you, so give me 1 second. Maybe it's my audio settings. That sucks. I'm not sure.
You still can't hear him?
Oh, I know why I can't hear you. Okay, give me 1 second. Can you try speaking?
Hello, hello.
Okay, I can hear you now. So,
Okay, nice.
yeah, the reason why I couldn't hear you was because the Discord app has problems with external audio cards. So that's why I'm using the browser, and I forgot why I used the browser in the first place. But now I remembered, okay, this didn't work as it should, so that's why I stick to the browser. Okay, cool.
Oh, anyway, works now. Okay, so before we get started, I'll just link you real quick a document. I don't know if you read on the profile, but I do like a document for everyone, so we can kind of see where you at, like kind of divide stuff, what you want to work on.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm gonna link it to you in a sec.
In Discord or Steam?
I'll link it in Discord.
Okay, great.
Okay, here it is.
Cool. I'm gonna open it.
Okay, so
can you just quickly, can you hear me finally? Because I'm using like a built-in microphone and it's really bad, but I don't know.
Yeah,
if
it's
I
fine.
need
It's
to...
fine. I mean,
Okay, cool.
Yeah, no worries.
Okay, so should I read through it or?
I mean, just yeah, we can go through it together real quick. Just kind of see like if everything makes sense. What I mean.
Cool.
Yeah. So, multi-hero lane matchups. It's like for any side lane, dual lane, tri lane stuff. Also on mid, kind of knowing which hero against which roamers and stuff. How do you match up? How do you play? Then So just drafting in general, which kind of concerns every hero, like how to pick your hero, when it's good, when it's bad, or it also kind of decides, what kind of builds you go for. Kind of tied with, yeah, hero item counters, skill builds, item builds, and the reading the map. I mean, this is somewhat more general, but yeah. So does it kind of make sense what I mean with this?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so mechanics probably the kind of more simple stuff. I mean, it's not necessarily easy, but it is more simple. So I mean, you can tell me, maybe it's easier if you just tell me, like, where do you feel you're lacking? If you kind of see these things, does it fit into any of them, or what do you want?
Okay, so it's kind of hard to pinpoint it. Obviously, that's why I'm looking for coaching, because if I knew exactly how I could improve, I would be doing it probably. But in general, I feel like in some places, like in the mid game, I don't know exactly what I should be doing, or I'm just too late in doing it because, for example, I've watched, for example, like coaching sessions of BSJ, for example, and he, like, one thing he said kind of struck with me was he mentioned that eventually, I don't know if you shared the same, if you share the same opinion, but one thing he said was eventually you go to the right place. Like, so maybe you dig around for like 1 minute, but then you realize and you subconsciously go 1 minute after that. So, for example, what happens is, okay, I'm farming bottom. Instead, we should be taking Roshan, but we're not taking Roshan. And then eventually we do go Roshan, but then it's already too late. And then, for example, they contest us and we lose the Rosh fight or something like that. So that kind of happens to me. And also, sometimes I don't know. I just feel like I don't know what exactly I should be doing, and it's kind of hard. I know it's a general thing, but I kind of play all roles. I don't. I used to not play carry a lot. Like, that's the only role I didn't play too much. But now I started playing carry as well. So it's just like all roles, especially in like mid lane into new patches. I feel like before in mid lane it was kind of a bit more straightforward. Now it's like I kind of find it hard to find the balance of when to jungle and sort of when to when to sort of join a fight and when to farm and stuff like that.
Yeah, okay.
And some of the laning matchups, I know you play Storm Spirit. I've been trying to get better at the hero. So, for example, for Storm, I feel like, I don't know, maybe I'm used to playing mid lane like that. Maybe I'm just like sort of that's my style of play. But when I play a hero on mid lane, I always try to sort of dominate the lane, and I think that kind of costs me a lot because maybe I'm in an unfair matchup, but then I try to stay in the lane and still deny creeps to the enemy mid laner, even though that's not what I should be doing. I should be like in the jungle, and I should be like leaving the lane because it's impossible to lane or something like that.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the general feel I have, even though it's hard to say, especially the last 2 weeks, because I've been losing a lot the last 2 weeks, and I just contributed to me not focusing, just playing on autopilot. That's another thing. But yeah, that's another thing.
Okay. So, okay, that's interesting. I mean, the way to go over this, I mean, I can tell you a lot of stuff in theory, but it's easier if we just pick any game and we kind of just start talking about that.
Okay, so let me see if because the problem is I was in low priority the last couple of days, so I don't actually have any serious games. So let me see if I have some, like that's why I wanted to get out of low priority and like play a couple of try hard games in ranked, so that I can lose some games in ranked and then be like, okay, this is a game I lost. I don't know why I lost it. Maybe you can tell me or something like that. But I do have a game from. Okay, we can. So let me see. So I'm not sure if you can download them. How long the replays are kept? That's another thing.
Yeah, it's depends. Maybe like 1 week or 10 days, something like that.
Okay, so if you so okay, scroll down and maybe the Queen of Pain game. I think I kind of gave up in that game after it started because I think we just lost and I didn't see a point. So if you just scroll down in my
Mm-hmm.
games, I think it's on the 6th of this month, and then
Uh,
before
the six.
and then yeah, the 6th of March. So
Mm-hmm.
6-3-18. There's a Queen of Pain game, and then before it, there's a Storm game as well. We can look at, I guess, though
Okay.
that's a quick
I
one.
see the co-op game. It's 5th of March. Ah, that's a time zone thing, I think. Because 11 p.m.
Oh, right,
Yeah,
right.
okay,
Yeah,
so
maybe.
it's also confused. Okay, but yeah, it's the Queen of Pain game. Alright, we can look at that.
Okay, so are you sharing screen on
Yeah, let
Discord
me just
or
open it.
I don't
Uh,
know how that works?
yeah, it's should work. Just a sec.
And then I can think of another game, a Terrorblade game, which I guess isn't the best example. Like as I said, I don't have very good games in the past week, but maybe we'll think of something.
Um, okay, just a sec to make this work. I need to. Uh, it's no, the only reason this stuff is complicated is because I'm using a laptop with external screen, so I just need to tinker a bit with settings like which display.
Yeah, no problem.
One sec.
Okay. I'm thinking if there's a better game because I remember that game wasn't that good. Like not good in me doing well, but just I think like mid was a stomp because people ganked for me, and then the game was over because the enemy team had late game. But yeah, we'll take a look. You tell me your opinion.
Ah, wait. Okay, I figured out. Just a sec. So I was being stupid. I just have to scroll down to see screen 2. Okay. You should see it now.
Yeah, I see it. Cool.
Okay. So here's the
Sure.
game.
I guess I'll load the replay as well.
I mean, you don't need to have it open really. Well, you can say it for yourself, I guess, but I'm just gonna go through it. So, oh, that's funny. Actually, I know this guy. Anyway, so a lot of what you were saying is basically boils down to like knowing when to do what, right? And like that's like you said, it's kind of general, but it does really start with just looking at the picks and kind of thinking about what each hero does and potentially like how they scale, how they can build, and at some point how do you actually win the game, what needs to happen, and from there like that's kind of gonna give you the idea of what you need to do. So in this case, like knowing the lanes also kind of helps, but okay, we see these picks, we assume. I don't know if you remember how the lanes were here. Was it?
I think okay. So Aldi was safe lane. I was middle against Tinker, and I think I had last pick. So I think they banned Storm Spirit. So I wanted to pick Storm Spirit. I think because I just was practicing the hero at the time, and I think it was banned. So then I was waiting for my pick, and then they picked their heroes. I think I had last pick, and I saw the Tinker, and I was just thinking to myself, okay, what's a sort of decent hero mid game against Tinker that's not going to lose his lane super hard, and I just stopped on the Queen of Pain. I was thinking Puck as well, but then again, I didn't want to because I think Queen of Pain is a bit stronger late game, like right click, and we already have an OD carry, so
Yeah.
that's why I kind of wanted Queen of Pain instead. But no other heroes sort of popped up in my mind that can catch Tinker and can do okay in lane against him. I still think Queen of Pain would lose the lane, if she doesn't have help, but I did have help, and I think the lane I think wasn't the problem here because I think Putch or someone ganked for me. I don't remember.
Yeah. I mean, Quinnipiac is definitely pretty solid. You had the 9th pick, the only pick the Visage after. So, yeah, I mean, pick-wise, it's fine. Pretty much, yeah, the way you should look at it. I mean, from your side, it's kind of obvious, right? The lanes. From their side, I suppose it's Tinker mid, either more for Wraith King or safe lane, and the other one dual off lane maybe with Lich.
I think Wraith King was jungle. I don't know. Maybe you've had a break or like higher MMR doesn't do this, but at around 5k to 5.78k, it's Wraith King jungle. Like
Oh, okay.
almost every other game. I swear. Like if we look at my past games, it's like it's a trend now. So it's actually not bad, to be honest, if you gank with it because of the skeletons. But
Yeah, I guess the skeletons make it fast.
yeah.
Alright. So, I mean, the first thing I see when I look at this lineup, especially with the jungle Wraith King, like, Morphling is a super greedy carry, Tinker is pretty greedy mid, and that means you should look to be aggressive early. Their late game is obviously a lot better. I mean, Axe is kind of... It's not really a great hero, but, definitely falls off hard late game. There's just like a million counters to him, and yeah, support it's somewhat equal. I mean, Witch Doctor Podge, they're like okay. Lich Visage are also kind of okay late, but Lich is gonna have XP advantage, and Visage is like a late game support if he is even played as support. I guess he was offlane, okay. So anyway,
I don't remember. I think Lich might have helped him. I don't know.
So they pretty much have like a super greedy lineup, like a bunch of cores, jungler.
Yeah.
3 greedy cores and a jungler, and you guys have OD Quop, so yeah, you don't want to be...
Yeah, one of the problems I had, and that's kind of why, partially why I gave up, was because we didn't have any tower push, so OD even went Meteor Hammer, but that's like suboptimal. So we couldn't. We had an early advantage, but I think we just couldn't. Like, I don't know. Maybe we could have, but we didn't. So we couldn't like punish them properly, so that we can take a Rax in like when we had the advantage.
Yeah. So. It's true, like, obviously it's not great to not have tower push, but I wouldn't really be super worried about it in these kind of games, because, like, a lot of games are not really... like, lineup and this kind of stuff doesn't determine too much. And, it's just as likely that you guys really roll over them and are able to finish, like Snowball hard enough, so... I would say, like, yeah, it's kind of on the OD, like, he could build probably the best item to build in this case would be a Dominator. Like, that kind of gives you the best push, just the attack speed aura and sustain. But the hammer kind of makes up for it as well, I guess. Kind of see how the game goes, but anyway, with all this in mind, like, so your mindset should be how to be, like, aggressive and basically pressure the enemies. Even if, like, you don't necessarily need tower damage to get towers, that's the thing, because if you're just stronger than them, you're killing their creepers.
Yeah, we can kill them. We can kill 5 people and then we're free to push.
Yeah, and honestly, it's not necessarily about killing them, like, because so your goal is to push, right, to get objectives, to end early. Like, that's your goal, and how does killing them actually help you achieve that? It's because it takes them off the map, right? So they have to go base.
Yeah.
Obviously, Tinker's case is kind of special because he has a, when he gets boost to travel, if you don't kill him, he's gonna heal, he's gonna come back. But for any other hero, like, just making them go back, oh, that actually was gonna finish. Any other hero, just making them go back, like, that's as good as killing them, because you're taking them off the map and you're giving yourself the opportunity to push. So here's string hits.
That was a bad death. I didn't know he had. I mean, I guess I should have known he had laser and rocket, because he was saving his skill points. Obviously, a good player would do that.
Yeah, I mean it's more the initial like. It's really tempting to like blink after TPing because you're like, oh, I have the fountain region, but like throw the dagger, okay, but then you have to back because in a straight up man fight he actually does win. Like he has 5 more damage, more armor. Also he was standing in his tower, getting even more armor, and you're outside of your tower, so. So your dive, it's worth it. So I mean you're doing okay on the lane. Like he died.
Yeah, he died
3
twice.
times.
I died twice. Yeah, something like that.
Both of you have really low CS though. Could be
Yeah,
like
because
so much fighting, but it's not the biggest deal, but just pointing out. So now the thing in terms of build is like you have 2 main builds with Cop, and you know, one is kind of about right clicking, the other is not. And because like you mentioned, you don't have much right click, it is a good idea to go for right click build this game. That build is mostly about the Orchid, because that's the item that gives you right click as well as mana. And yeah, getting a casual Veil, which I suppose you did. I mean, we'll kind of see how the game goes. Like it's fine. Biggest reason to get it is for the armor, which, you know, there's a Wraith King, there's a Visage. It's reasonable to get it, but the thing is with the right click build, you kind of want to. I mean, you definitely want to snowball. Here, I just go on him again. Another easy kill. You definitely want to snowball with that build so you can actually, you know, get those items quickly, because obviously, Gob's not really like the talents are great, but you need to be ahead for it to kind of work. Otherwise, your damage is just not threatening.
yeah.
And the other way to look at items is also kind of like how do they let you. Like every item, you should ask yourself, like, what does this item let me do that I can't otherwise? And I guess that's where I kind of feel not really fully behind this Veil, because
it slows down my Orchid. I need the Orchid to solo kill the Morph and the Tinker.
Exactly. And you know, you could go back for the Veil, honestly, but afterwards. But yeah, just the Veil is basically from Null to Veil. That's like an Oblivion staff right there. Like it's half the Orchid, so. Yeah, and the other thing with the treads, again, the treads, it is good when you're going for a right-click build.
I always buy treads on Quap. I don't know, because of the bottle, I guess. I'm used to it.
Okay, if you are going for treads, like it is really nice when you take this. And then what you should do, because I see here you kind of wait a lot of unspent gold. Basically, what I like to do with Quap when going for treads is instead of the second null, you just buy the robe, because it's the similar amount of gold and gives you 6 int instead of 7. It's just like to help you last hitting before you.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
And you know,
good point.
And just helps you get the treads even quicker that way. Anyway, so you get them here. You know, so far you're kind of chilling on your lane. Killed Tinker a bunch of times. It's going fine. But yeah, he just keeps respawning, propping March, and you can't really pressure the tower. So yeah, what you want to do is, yeah, you do want to pressure this tower. Like that is your goal basically, right? Because again, it's 9 minutes in, and he has no money for beauty yet.
Right. So okay, question here. So let's say here I'm obviously out leveling him. I am doing better than him in the lane. And now I have the choice. Okay, should I push the creep wave so that I could open the map? He's forced to defend the tower, and then I can probably go bottom. Or should I just deny every creep and keep it on my high ground so that I deny all the farm from him?
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, if you keep... Sure, denying farm from him is good, but you're not really denying farm, because the only thing that happens is you're just gonna farm woods instead. And sure, that's kind of slower, but he also has a Wraith King that's farming woods. In fact, Wraith King is farming your woods, and you know, team has kind of a hard time punishing it.
Yeah.
There's also Morphling farming, there's also Visage farming, so that kind of goes back to what we mentioned earlier. Like, if Tinker is the only hero they're kind of counting on, then sure, you want to
Stay middle.
yeah,
and
focus on
sort
like
of-
scoring him, but in this case,
Yeah.
it's more important that you get ahead overall. And yeah, he is like, it's not really the biggest deal for him if he's getting the lane farm or not.
Yeah.
And we look at net worth. No, he's behind, but the Raid King is pulling far ahead.
Morph as well.
And Morphling's pulling far ahead, yeah. And again, this Morphling, even right now, like, let's say you rotate bottom, like, there's zero chance of you killing this Morph, right? But the point is not to kill him.
Yeah.
The point is he's forced off the lane because suddenly you're there. Like, you blink Scream Dagger, he's half HP, and he has to run, and that's it.
So do you think? Okay, do you think I should perhaps shove in middle? Like,
Mhm.
let's say I'm in this situation. Next game I'm playing and I'm in a similar situation. I should push middle so that Tinker's forced to defend. Then I should, I guess, not TP bottom, but just blink and move to the bottom lane, and then
Yeah.
just sort of harass Morphing. And then should I push the tower with the axe, or should I rotate back to middle? Like, should I turn this into a push bottom, because obviously they're not going to defend it? Like, it's very unlikely that Lich or Wraith King will help the Morphling. Lich cannot help the Morphling first, and only Wraith King can probably help him, but he's probably just jungling. Like,
Yeah, exactly.
not
Exactly.
interested in it. So should we just should I just go and sort of tell Axe, okay, let's push bottom, and then like Witch Doctor or maybe Pudge better, Pudge take middle, you know, get your 6 or whatever, defend the tower.
Yeah, that'll be a pretty good move. Yeah, exactly, because that is what you want to get done eventually. Like, because unless you're actually getting towers, then all these kills on Tinker, they're not gonna change a whole lot. Like, yeah, he died 5 times, but you know, he will get his travels, and again, he's not the only one that's getting farm. So
Yeah.
so killing this Wraith King. Okay, one pretty crucial thing though is, because you are going for right click, you really should take the damage talent. It's like a really massive difference. That 25 damage, like at level 10. I mean, especially like half the reason to even buy treads is because of the damage talent, like to kind of, you know, have the attack speed to back it up. If like if you're not taking the damage talent, then there's not that much point in buying treads either, because yeah. So here you rotate bottom. Now you want to pressure this lane. Teammates are dead, so you're kind of waiting for him to spawn.
Yeah, he had raindrop. I didn't account for it, so I was counting on just bursting.
Him, yeah. It's still like, it's okay at them, but it is like super risky. Like, yeah, he survived. I mean, obviously he can't react perfectly, but yeah, it's just, I mean, this is some minor stuff like, you know, clicking enemies, and see the throw earlier, but yeah. So here because again, if you imagine like what we're talking about, like the plays that you're gonna be making, like going bottom, pushing a tower and stuff, like that involves you hitting the tower a lot, and
Right.
I mean, that's also why the treads is good, because of the attack speed. But that's exactly where, like, I just can't stress like how much that 25 damage is, because it's like 30% more right now. If you look, you have 88. That's like 30% more. Okay, you have 100. You know, 25% more.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I didn't. When I was looking at that talent, I was like, 25 damage just seems too low, and maybe Tinker can burst me, or like Wraith King, if they initiate on me, I'm afraid of getting bursted. So and I'm like kind of thinking maybe I get maybe I get a Shivas, and like the bone strength helps me man fight people better. Like that was my thought process. I'm not saying it's like
yeah, no, I mean that's fine, but that's basically the other main like quad play style, which is when you get like Vil and Yule and Shivas. That's the most standard build.
Yeah, true.
And the point of that build is to kind of be like go in. You're like kind of similar to Puck. You can clear waves. You go in. You do a lot of damage. You kite heroes. Like that's really good against melee heroes. So you can kite them. and because you're going in, you're giving your team vision and stuff. But yeah, I mean that build is obviously really bad at taking towers. Also, that build you generally just keep brown boots. But yeah, so when you're going for this, it's just, I mean, yeah, you can just try some games with it, and you definitely feel the 25 damage.
Sure.
Then, now all the...
I mean, it's obviously the right choice because we need tower damage. Like, even if it's a small amount, it's still probably the correct choice just because of the push.
So here, I mean, we can go back a bit.
Yeah, sure.
Kind of see. So Visar's diving this guy, kills him, you guys kill him. Now, Tinker's dead, Viscer's dead. You're full HP, kinda low on mana, but you have clarity, so it's fine. And if we look at like the map, basically what's going on at this moment, Morph was stopped, he just stopped showing, but I mean, he's gonna show again. So Morph is pushing your tier 1 top, the OD's bottom, and then Pudge and Axe are checking here at the bounty room.
I should probably look to shove in middle lane.
Yeah, so basically like 2 enemy heroes dead, but more importantly the Tinker's dead, so that gives you an opening, and you wanna, pressure. Now, it's either this, I mean you have a couple options basically, like either you pressure mid, either you defend top against the Morph, but that's kinda hard because he has Lincolns already, and solo defending is difficult against him at this point. Plus the tower is already pretty low. And yeah, the other option is to just go bottom and help the OD push. So here you go through, get some skeletons, and now there's a lich mid, but like a lich shouldn't really be able to scare you off. You push it in. Now you let the creep sit. So I guess this one moment where you're not sure what you should be doing.
Yeah, probably looking at the map, wondering where should I go.
Yeah, so I mean, first few things is like your mana is like half, and you don't have any regen left. So having again like buying a lot of clarities and raindrops, it's very important that you, like, let's say a fight breaks on our bottom, you don't have like the mana to really contribute everything. You can only ult or only scream. So that's one thing that's very important on co-op. Just always keep your mana full. And yeah, at this point, like, you applied pressure, you forced the Lich to show, you lost top tower. Now, Witch Doctor is already pushing out top.
Yeah, that's a bad decision. There's no reason to go there.
Yeah, like, it's, I don't know, it's okay. Like, if you wanna push out top all the way and like start applying pressure to this tower, like, then it's fine. But you should run straight to the creeps, and then you can let the Witch Doctor do something else. Because it looks like they're not defending bottom. It's already dead. The Surge comes, but it just Axe cleans them up. But yeah, so here you run into enemies, and the problem is this part, like the fact that you're even like chasing him here, because it's just complete waste of time.
Exactly. No mana, no chance to kill him twice. Like, it's just no way I get that kill.
Yeah, it's no pressure, and it's not even the kill that you want to get, because let's say theoretically you kill him here, what will happen after is that, okay, you still need to go back to this wave, push it all the way here. This takes like 30 seconds at least, if not more. And by the time you reach the tower, he's up again.
Yeah.
And someone's gonna be there to defend. So, and you can't even do it because you're spending mana in the process of killing him. So again, your goal is actually to push the wave and get like pressure to the tower. So that's should be what the main thing you're doing. Okay, so you brought clarity, but now they went to go base. Your Axe and your OD managed to kill bottom. They took the tower. Now OD TP top. So this is pretty important to keep track of TPs. He TP top, enemy saw it, he's kind of committed to top now. So what would be the best thing for you to do?
Is pressure middle, probably? Because I see Axe there.
Mid or bot, yeah, but the problem here is they use your TP now, so Now you're committed to bottom, and let's say they want to defend top against OD. You cannot join that fight there, because you're basically committed to bottom. The thing with TPs is like you want to make sure that you're always TPing for something. Like there needs to be a reason why, like your TP, like you need to be there right now. That's when you use TP. Like in this case, all you did was like
need to be there.
Go for the wave, and like that was it. Like if you blinked, it will take 20 seconds longer. You don't lose out on anything. And now, see, because you don't have a TP and you think something is happening, you have to leave this lane and start running towards mid. Whereas if you have a TP, you can stay on this lane as long as you want, and if anything happens, you're there.
Yeah.
So that's the main difference. You guys do catch the Tinker. It's great. Now you want to push. So again, now this tower is very low, and you just kill the Tinker, which is the main D push. So
I can probably start going top and leave my team take it.
Exactly, like let your team take it, and you go either top or bottom.
Probably top.
I mean, it depends. Like top is you're dealing with the morph. You know, personally, I think I would go bottom because you can actually apply pressure, and like I mentioned, you don't really match up great against this morph at this moment because he has Lincolns, and what's gonna happen is just gonna hit you, and whatever damage you do, you can just shift it. So I think I'd prefer to go bottom because, you know, if Lich steps out of the tower, he's dead to you. And again, doesn't matter if you actually kill Lich or not, but it's super easy to just force him back, and then you can pressure that tower as well.
And I guess my team went to deal with more stuff. But
Yeah, so they defend.
We're trying to pressure tier 2, I guess.
Yeah, you do snipe tier 2, it's really nice. The hammer is honestly doing a pretty good job. You said it's bottom, but I mean, really, like, this tower almost died just because the one hammer. So actually, you guys end up getting the tower. So you get 2 towers here. This is super good.
I think I told my team, let's go take top tower here or something.
Yeah, at this point, you guys are kind of starting to do what you want to be doing, which is, you know, just grouping up. And okay, this ulti was super unnecessary, I think, because I don't know if you're like you wanted to save the pudge, but it's pretty much fine.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, just no need to ult, you know, like 5 versus 1 straight, pretty much. So again, like the kind of the instinct you want to have with Cop, like of course the heroes are not like perfect. It's not your typical tower hitting carry, but still, like, okay, it's an OD, but he has a hammer, so he is taking towers. So the mindset you want to have is that your team is taking towers as 4, and you're the one that's most mobile, which means you're the one fixing lanes, the other lanes that your team is not on, with the TP ready, so you can join in case the team decides to fight. So basically, every time you kind of see your team grouping up for a push, yeah, you should be pushing out a different lane. So this move is good. Like, you take a wave mid. It's good. Now you want to run bottom to deal with that. Okay, Axe TPs, so you farm the jungle. Yeah, now you can keep pushing bottom because Axe left. Okay, so Axe took one wave here, but now he's running towards mid. Now there's gonna be another wave here, so I'm not sure why you wouldn't go for that. Like, again, you wanna choke out the enemies. Your team took tier 1 top, they did some damage to tier 2. People are like TPing to defend the tier 2, the Visage. So why not push pressure bottom as well?
I think I just saw Axe and we saw the Wraith King now, so we were like, okay, let's go for the kill. But again, it doesn't do anything. Like, we kill him, he has reincarnation. It doesn't matter. Like,
yeah, and it's not even just about the reincarnation. It's like, even if you do get the skill, like the same thing happens. They just come
we took tier 2 middle, so there's no objective on the middle lane anyway.
Exactly.
Like, if we want to push a tower, then we have to go back bottom and start pushing that wave. By the time it's pushed to the tier 2, he's going to be alive already. So we can't take the objective. Yeah, I mean, I can definitely see it now.
It's all about the waves. Like, this morph shouldn't be able to. Like, if you look at the minimap, there's no tier 1, so he's so far away from anything. And he's kind of just farming this wave here, pressuring your tier 1. And that shouldn't really happen. And now all the 3 of the waves are kind of around the river. Instead of, like, of course it's not super easy because they have a Tinker, but, you know, on the other hand, you guys are pretty far ahead. So what's going to happen now is you guys are running bottom together. Okay, 2 are staying mid. Three staying mid, so now Tinker's pushing top, so by the time you deal with bottom, the tower still takes some damage. Top is gonna be, yeah, Tinker took a wave top. Here one issue is that you don't have your Orchid, so it's kind of hard to, but Oldie comes in at a nice time. You guys clean up the morph. Bonus kill. Okay, so yeah, Oldie's already bottom, so you're like, you want to run to a different lane. Snap some familiars. Yeah, so I mean, you did go for the attack speed talent, which is like the right choice because it's right click based. But again, like if you're going attack speed, why not also get damage?
Yeah, true.
They just work really well together.
It would add up a lot with the Orchid power threads, attack talent. Like 25 damage is maybe not a lot, but then when you hit so fast,
yeah. Pick up another kill. So at this point it's kind of just like random fights. You're low mana, but OD is getting bottom tower in the meantime, so it's okay. Now at this point you're blinking back. There's no shrine though. Okay, this one is really bad TP.
It's bad. Yeah, it's bad.
Yeah. And you don't use that many TPs, so it's also super bad. But again, like the few that you use, like this one here and this one, they're just bad. Like other way to look at it is basically there's three types of TPs. There's like a really bad one, which is like, let's say this one, or when you just someone TPs to shrine to farm camps. That's also super common. Like those are the worst because it's just complete waste. Then the medium one is when you TP because the wave is hitting your tower. Like that's like you kind of have to do it because you don't want your tower to just take a bunch of damage.
But you don't want to do it.
But you don't want to, like, it feels bad because you're being forced.
Have your TP on cooldown.
The enemy is forcing you to do it, and yeah, they see you doing it actually. So yeah, and then the best type of TPs is like the reverse of that, where you're the one pushing a lane, you force enemies to react there, and then you TP to a different lane, and that lane is empty because you just made them go differently. So that's basically, you want to be like a step ahead with your TPs, like you make the enemy move around you, and those are basically the kind of TPs you want to use.
So I think here I bought a ward and smokes, and I'm like, let's invade their jungle, let's deep ward, kill them and push high ground. At least that was my mindset, but I don't think we ended up doing that. So yeah, I planted deep ward, but they see it.
That's very unfortunate, yeah. So yeah, I mean, there's some, if you do want wards like that, this one is quite okay. This one is like kind of my favorite. It's super good. It does get dewarded easily. You could even play some Tinker wards. It's kind of whatever, but yeah, if you look at, let's go back a little bit again. So guess kill just the support here. Tinker's force back. Now you want to invade, but like top lane is again pushed to your side. Mid lane is in the middle, and only bottom lane is kinda to their side.
Yeah, so I should definitely focus on pushing the waves first. Like,
Exactly.
There's no reason to chase for these kills. Again, like even if we get a kill on Tinker, he probably respawns by the time we start hitting their tier 3, because the waves are not shoved in.
Yeah, pretty much. Like the waves are the main focus. Like if you want to get map control, the ideal situation is pretty much just to keep the 3 waves here, right? Because then you see everything that's going on. They can't really leave the base while smoking, but even then you're gonna know it's gonna be obvious. So again, in this moment, it's like you guys take the mid wave with a bunch of heroes, only access smoked, but the 3 of you show. So for enemies, it's like pretty obvious what's going on. Okay, bunch of heroes mid, they're gonna go mid. So they have a Tinker with BOT, they have a Morph with BOT. What is the obvious move for them is they're gonna split bottom right now. And you know, this blink here again, maybe you pick off the Lich, but that doesn't mean you're gonna push high ground because there's still Tinker alive. So the better move would be here to just run bottom and push that out. Have a TP on you, so in case something does happen, you can join sort of quickly. Although there's no tier 1s, maybe top shrine, I don't know. But yeah, so like now, again, this wave is kind of stacking up. It's a double range creep. Next one's gonna come, it's gonna be triple range creep. you might even just like lose this tower to creeps. And you force the glyph, you force them back, like that's great, but like this is the part where you really wanna fix the lanes, because now also top is pushed out. Okay, Axe catches this guy. But yeah, you lose bottom to creeps and skeletons, almost. Okay, glyph. With shock TTPs. Was a decent try. Now you were running bot.
But then I see the Witch Doctor TP and I'm like, there's no reason to go there or something.
Yeah, but then if you look at, I mean, it's massive creep
there is a reason to go there.
Yeah, like Wisher can't deal with that on his own. And yeah, the other thing is that you don't really even have like easy solo kill. Like the only easy solo kill is Lich pretty much, right? Because Wraith King has ult, Tinker's in the trees, Morph has Lincolns. I mean, you could kill Morph, like you break Lincolns with Dagger, then you Orchid, but it's not super reliable.
If he doesn't morph, maybe.
Yeah, it's not very reliable. And yeah, the Visage is hard to kill, you're gonna take a bunch of damage. So only the Lich is really easy, but even then, like, it doesn't give you that much to kill him. And you see, like, Witch Doctor saved the tower, but he didn't really de-push the lane.
Yeah.
Now OD gets picked off on top. So Morph goes here. So basically they're just splitting the map like a lot, and in the process of doing that they're getting a lot of farm as well. You guys just don't have the damage for you to kill him. Now the other thing with item build is that at this point you're saving up a lot of gold. That kind of, it's like when you're uncertain, like if it's a really big item you're saving up for, sometimes it's nice to surprise them with, but generally like you want to spend your gold obviously, because right now you have 2k lead but you have 3.5k gold unspent, which means it's actually a lead for them because that goes on you. Now generally item I really like with this build is Shadow Blade. You can turn it into Silver Edge if needed, but you know this game is not really needed. But what the Shadow Blade does is actually it kind of lets you get those pickoffs easier, because you can, I mean, you can, first of all, you get close to people and you can actually go in on a support or whatever, and it's not that risky because you're going in with Invis and you still have your blink to get out.
Not with blink, yeah, that's interesting.
And yeah, you obviously it gives you right click damage, which is also the kind of the point, so you can pressure. And then from there, like, it is hard because you want to go right click, but then you kind of need Shivas to see the Tinker.
Yeah.
Ideally Odie would get that, but here there's just no detection.
I think he blinked away.
No, he just has Shadow Blade.
He got Shadow Blade, yeah.
Just no detection. So it's kind of like spells being thrown. No one really dies, but again, it's so random, like, because like these kind of fights.
It's good for them because they have the Ladium.
In the woods, yeah, like they're stalling the game. I mean, it's kind of good for them, but really, like, it's not, doesn't really do much for anyone because it's a random fight in the woods. Like, there's not any objective that's being fought over, and yeah, meanwhile the lanes are still just pushed. And again, like, you really want to get these kills, but the reason it's so hard is because, like, the lanes are always around the middle, so it's really hard to know where the enemies are. Like, if all the lanes are pushed, it's gonna be really easy to catch and get these pickoffs because you know where the enemies are. Like, they have to be dealing with these lanes, right?
Yeah.
And then you can set up Tinker wards, then you can just wait for him, you can wait for the morph and stuff. But the way it is right now, like, all the waves are on the river, and you kind of just, like, run with Invis Rune or Smoke, like, hoping to catch someone, but it's just not really gonna happen because all they do is, like, split push the side lanes. And yeah, so here you get the BKB, which, like, it helps but not really, because at this point the morph, the raking right click pretty hard, and like, yeah, you kind of need it to stay in the fight, but at the same time, it doesn't like let you. It doesn't really change anything, because you still can't just tank stuff. Here you get a gem just for the Shadow Blades.
I think for the wards, like
Oh,
I was
wards.
basically getting annoyed that, you know, our ganks aren't working. So I
Mhm.
was probably feeling that we're not doing enough. So instead of me thinking, okay, and analyzing that where's the problem is that we're not pushing the waves. I was probably thinking, okay, they see us everywhere. That's why we're not getting the pickoffs we need. So this was
Yeah.
a bad BKB, I guess.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of like whatever, but yeah. So I just went to their flank to see. So you got the one ward here, but really like, and he just placed this one just now. But yeah, the only ward they really had was here. So it's again, it's not really. It feels like they're seeing you, but it's not really about them seeing you. It's just about
Yeah, that's what I kind of realized now.
yeah.
That was probably what I was feeling in the game. I was like, if we cut their vision, then they will be afraid to go out, and then we can pressure them a lot more, or something like that.
Yeah, like I mean, it is good that you're like willing to buy detection. That's pretty important. I just like the gem is like, yeah, it's for wards, but the wards aren't really the problem. If anything, like this Raid King survived, I think 2 times here. I think he survived earlier as well, not sure, with the Shadow Blade. So that's where having, you know, detection for him, and maybe also just some sentries so he can't walk into the fight with Shadow Blade, like that can really help. And yeah, the other thing is about talent. This game, like, it got the spell lifesteal got nerfed so much that it's honestly not so good in most games. Like the only games I would really say spell lifesteal is like you should go for it is when you're buying like an early Mjolnir and you have a Shivas or something. But
Right.
but generally speaking, like the AoE Shadow Strike just has so much impact on fights, especially with like combos really nicely with the fear. And I mean, it's good against almost any hero. Like in this case, you would like it's amazing for kiting the Raid King. He doesn't have a BKB. If you hit, like you can easily hit Tinker. You hit you hit both familiars. You hit the Visage. You hit everything. And if you combine that with Shivas, like the slow is insane. But I mean, it doesn't have to be Shivas per se. Like it's not just you know, the talent for magic build. It's just good anyway. It's also good for wave pushing when you get enough mana regen. You kind of need one more mana regen item after the Orchid, and then you have enough. You can spam both the dagger and the scream, and it clears the wave after like 2 ticks maybe. So yeah, what's happening now is that finally, like they're starting to get a bit of an edge in items. Catch out the Raid King. We have the gem, but no catch. And they just come in. At this point, like the fights are.
Yeah, we can't really do much against the Morph. And if I don't initiate on the Tinker, he's just going to push us out of the fight.
Yeah, this is where the axe being like kind of a weak hero really hurts. OD is like obviously scales well late game, but you know he was kind of forced to go for this hammer and blink pikes.
I think I just AFK'd here at this point because Pudge was flaming everyone and Axe was being a dick, so everyone just didn't want to play. Like Pudge was earlier, he was saying like end or whatever, and I was like, alright.
Yeah, I mean,
we lost. They took Rush, so I'm like, I don't see how we can win this game anymore.
like this where the game gets really hard, yeah, but I mean it's close to the end anyway. Yeah, so really the main things are like sure teammates could done. I mean this guy's lens or for some reason like, but
I wasn't even focusing on them. Like usually I just like I don't care because you cannot influence it. Like maybe you can tell Pudge don't buy lens, but what are the chances of him listening to you?
Yeah, of course.
Most of the time I just don't even focus on them. But yeah, I guess Mostly it's just pushing the lanes and not just going for some stupid skirmish in the jungle that it's not going to get its own objective.
Yeah, pretty much. Just because, like, you didn't really make any huge mistakes. I mean, the only times you died were on lane, which is kind of irrelevant. After that, you didn't really die. You, like, you know, you got a bunch of kills and stuff. Kept up in farm up to a point. But, yeah, I mean, I suppose that's like something to mention is, in terms of farm, if you look at, you know, go back a little bit, like, you were keeping up. I mean, like, that's the word I used. And it is like that. You were keeping up, but you weren't ahead, which, like we mentioned, you kind of should be because their lineup is the greedy lineup.
True. Yeah.
And that has definitely a lot to do also with, like, if you focus more on pushing waves, you inevitably you're gonna get way more farmed. And yeah, like a lot of these kills were on supports, and they just don't give much. So yeah, basically these moments, like, it seems like a small thing, but we can just, if you look at the minimap, actually one exercise you can do is to, when you watch a replay, like place the camera here, and then focus only in the minimap, yeah. So if you look at the waves, like again, they do have the Tinker and the Morphling with BOT, and it's kind of like all they're doing is pushing waves, but for considering that you guys are ahead, like getting all these pickoffs, the waves were never like really in your advantage. Like now bottom is pushed for you, but top is pushed for them. So now OD pushes out top, you guys push out mid, but bottom is pushing in just from lane creeps, and you guys kill a lich. Okay. Then Morph cuts a wave top. Team catches him, but meanwhile Wraith King is pushing out bottom. And what you guys are like running around mid here, and actually, okay, did like 200 damage to the tower, but it's not really worth it. Then, yeah, okay, this moment where you kind of like lose a lot of time because you run here, like make it to bottom, but then run back to mid, but then like you're alone, so you just get, okay, you do get the wave, like the others are scared. So you push away, but now Oldie dies. And now like this way, kind of like when Oldie dies like this, you have to go into kind of like damage control in a way, because he has been pushing waves a lot, being really active and stuff. So the moment he dies here, that means that lane will probably get pushed out by the enemies. So you immediately want to like try and correct that by, you know, pushing bottom back. So immediately running bottom and like applying pressure elsewhere so they can't just. And you see me like Visage and Wraith King are here. Like obviously he died, so they were probably like there was probably more than one hero there, which means like if the heroes are already on the lane, they might as well push it out.
Yeah.
So here you do run bottom, but again instead of like focusing on the wave, you guys
I'm searching for a kill. Yeah, which won't happen.
So Morph, he goes back, use the shrine. Then you get the wave. Punch dies, you get another wave. So I mean, like this little sequence was good. You took like 3 waves in a row from the camp, but now here again is where you just start running mid instead. And this is where like you feel like you have to be in these fights, but again, especially on a hero like Quop that's so mobile, like that's where you need to rely on the TP for that. And it's like the best situation is that you push a lane and you like you're on the other side of the map, and if your fight breaks out you can join, but you don't have to, like this is the key moment here. So you push this wave, you feel like okay, this is a little bit deep, so you just go for some camps. That's fine. Now
I think I see more here and I'm scared.
And but this is where you should stay. Like if you're scared you can stay in the trees, like that's also fine. If you're behind, this is also what you should be doing, similar, just okay, you're more scared so you stay in trees. You can even cut waves. Again, you're a hero with built-in blink, it's really easy to maneuver between waves and stuff. But like if you're not sure, like you don't always have to move, you know, like there are a lot of situations where staying in the trees waiting to see what's gonna happen is the best play. Right. Now again in this game, like it's a bit unusual because they have this like double BOT cores. They're kind of everywhere, but like you run top, the action is pretty much over, and now that you guys want to push mid, like bottom has to be defended, you know, like the ping comes out. This is that fight, those, yeah.
Yeah. I see.
So, pretty much anytime, like, especially when you're here like this, anytime you think to yourself, like, okay, I'm not sure what I should be doing now, just go for a wave, and if, like, even you can skip a wave, again, because you have a blink, like, there's no way that that's, like, has a bad outcome, because you are, every wave you kill quickly, like, is applying pressure. And no matter if you're ahead, it's, like, building your advantage. If you're behind, it's, you know, giving yourself a chance to come back, giving yourself space. So, no matter what, just, like, focus on having the lanes right. And this is where I'm, like, I repeated a few times that, like, actually getting a kill or not getting a kill doesn't matter too much. It's about being able to force the hero away, so that, like, when he backs off, you're free to push the wave, right?
Yeah.
And, you know, whether that's by actually killing him or just making him low, doesn't change much. Yeah, this is like second or third time this guy escapes with Shadow Blade. So, I mean, one thing you could have done this game for, also in terms of items, is this would be a pretty good game to get both Yules and Orchid. Even though Yules is not really the item for a right-click build, it's obviously good against Tinker, and it will just
to break link.
Yeah, it will give you a way to kill Morph, because that's kind of your issue, right? You mentioned let's say you were bottom, but you saw Morph and you got scared. So like those are the cases like that you want to build for your hero, like your item build, your skill build. You want to make sure that when like these situations happen, you meet an enemy core on the lane, you're able to force him away instead of like you're able to make him scared instead of the other way around.
Yeah, if you have two split pushers and one can bully the other out of the lane, then he's the more successful one. The other one cannot split push.
Exactly.
He's constantly afraid, you know, if I'm against a void and I'm afraid he'll chrono me, I cannot go into his lane, and he can split push me all the time.
Yeah, it's just...
And with Morph, if I can just go in, break his Lincoln, even Scream and Shadow Strike, like he'll be half HP. Like, and then I can go back up, but he won't be like... He won't go against me, because he'll be afraid now because I'm full HP and maybe my team's coming as well.
Exactly. And that's where it's like so important to realize that it's not about really getting kills in these cases. Like a pretty good example is the hero Zeus, because with Zeus, like you don't have any catch, you don't have any stun, you can't really solo kill people unless you're super fat. But still, in all these cases, like all you have to do is just throw a couple spells. The enemy guy's low HP and he has to back off, and that's your job is done. Like he's gone, you can push the wave. So that's why like a lot of people kind of just have the wrong approach. They're like, if I can't kill this guy, then I shouldn't even like use any spell or hit them even once. But it really isn't about that. It's about like forcing them away. So yeah, I guess not too much more to say about this game. I mean, it is kind of a like.
I mean, it is important because obviously, like as you said, there's not like one moment where okay, this fucked up the game. Like it wasn't like okay, guys, let's go rush when obviously we shouldn't go rush and then we lose and then they take racks. But these are the kind of games I feel like, and this is helpful because now I can see okay, I have to think in a different way. I have to think push the waves first, don't go to the jungle, like try to pick off someone, because even if I kill that, like what's the best scenario if I go into the jungle and kill someone? Like I have to go back and push the waves.
Yeah, afterwards, and then they just respawn. Yeah.
And then it's just logical. Like when you look back at it, it's like logical. But if I have to, remind myself in the game about this, and also think more about the matchup, like as you said about the Morphling, how to apply pressure to him, not necessarily kill him, but break his link and force him out of the lane. Like, because I didn't think of that. Like, I didn't foresee the game in this way, in this situation where I would be thinking, okay, in 10 minutes, Morphling would be split pushing. How do I stop him split pushing? I wasn't thinking that far ahead. I was like, I need a Veil because I need armor and I want to push waves faster with Veil and Scream because it kills the range creep like in one go and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Like, more basic.
I mean, yeah. But, about the armor part, that's true, but you definitely, you don't buy Veil for pushing waves, though, because it's, like, what you need for pushing waves is either... it's mostly mana. Like on a hero like Cop, it's just all mana really.
Yeah.
Any mana region item is equals wave push, because the Veil doesn't really, like if you kill the wave, 2 seconds faster, it doesn't matter if you don't have mana for the next wave, right?
Yeah, true.
And yeah, lastly, no, what I meant to mention is like you shouldn't feel too bad about losing this game. I would say because, again, big part of the issue is this Axe just being a pretty terrible hero in general. And we could kind of see it here, like he just doesn't really offer much. It's a hero with catch that, if you compare him to any other offlaner with catch, like they all have a bunch of advantages, and he doesn't really have. He kind of.
I guess he's pretty strong against melee cores that can kill themselves, but.
Yeah, but those are not really.
That's counterable as well.
Yeah, like you just buy Yules and it doesn't work anymore. And there's like a million counters, and it's just so hard to actually, like the ward is okay, but the amount of ways that the hero can like not work out, there's just so many. Not to mention that his laning is also bad. So, and yeah, you're against two like strong split pushers. So, what I guess one thing we could talk about is the pick. Like, so what. Is there a pick that could have made this easier? To be honest, for me, it also kind of got more clear, like, watching how the game went. Like, I have a better idea now. So, he picked the OD before you.
Yeah.
Now,
so maybe I should have told him, go mid with OD, and I'll pick a carry that counters, like, Anti-Mage. That counters Tinker, Morphling, and probably Wraith King. Like,
yeah, I would say, honestly, like, the lane is not the biggest deal, like... yeah, he could go mid. He could still be safe lane. I don't think it changes a whole lot. But yeah, basically a carry that can deal with this Morph and the Wraith King mostly. I mean, like most melee carries are not gonna be good against Tinker. I mean that's just how that is. But at least if you can deal with the Morph, because the Tinker didn't really end up being the problem, right? It was just this Wraith King who got super farmed from the woods and. He could kind of do whatever he wanted. He was running around in your jungle.
Yeah.
I mean, like a jungle hero shouldn't really end up being top net worth like this.
Yeah.
And it was also the Morphling split pushing with like 15-minute Lincolns, and like even though he has one item, you can't really go and force him back. Or you had a hard time because you had a Veil, even though you were winning your lane. So like one hero that could be pretty good is PL. I was thinking.
Yeah, PL.
Yeah, you just get Diffusal. I mean, it's pretty obvious how it's going against Morph and Wraith King. And yeah, it will give you like someone to... I won't even count the tower hit that much, because again, there's a Tinker, so... If Tinker is dead, then the difference between PL and Cop hitting the tower is not super big. But yeah, you basically, even with just one item, you can contest the Morph. And you can push the wave against him. You can also threaten the Wraith King. Let's see if there's another hero.
Probably Void or Terrorblade, maybe.
No,
Terrorblade. No, I don't know.
I mean, Terrorblade. Yeah,
Morph.
they had a Tinker. Yeah, the Morph probably not so great.
Void is kind of slow, but he can solo kill pretty much anyone except Wraith King. So not good against Wraith King, but I can pick off someone with Shadowblade maybe.
TA looks kind of good, if not for the Lich. Like the Lich Frost Armor kind of fucks it up, but otherwise TA could have been pretty decent.
I was thinking Anti-Mage probably.
Ne, tamo su jebati.
А,
Да. Камерата включена, между другото. Нещо. Sorry. Yeah. Which hero did you say you were thinking? Anti-mage?
Yeah, when I look at it back at it, I think maybe it could have worked because they have a jungler, and so anti-mage is usually bad, especially at the moment.
Yeah.
But maybe you'll get enough space because they have the jungler.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, this it is kind of similar to PL. Yeah, definitely
Yeah.
classic, way to deal with thinkers. So yeah, it could have worked. It could have worked.
I don't see many other heroes, but I don't know.
I mean,
And I was kind of like locked into my own box where I was like, oh, this is going safe lane. I'm going middle, so I'm searching for a mid hero. I'm not searching for a carry per se. But I should have just told OD, like, look, take middle, please. Like, we don't have a carry. And I should pick a carry instead. So that's something else I could.
I mean, now that I think about it, also maybe even something like a jugger mid could have worked. Again, it's
it's okay.
the lane stage, like, it does suck in this scenario because I mean Tinker's just really strong laner, which kind of limits your options a lot. But considering that, okay, you won the lane, but the game ended up being hard anyway. Maybe the lane wasn't really the biggest deal. Yeah, there's a jugger. There's I don't know. TA is by the way pretty good for this in general, like lane pushing, dealing with lane push because of the traps. So
yeah, I played a few TA games recently, but I'm still not used to the traps and sort of still struggle to utilize them. But it's definitely strong.
Actually, yeah, okay. That one that I mentioned earlier is Zeus. Now that I think about it, like Zeus is a
Zeus against Tinker.
Classic, way to deal with Tinker. It's really good against Morph actually because obviously it doesn't matter how much he morphs. You have the percentage based damage, so you just always kill him anyway. Like if he has 3k HP, the passive zaps him for extra. So and it's pretty good against Raid King because like your damage is, again, it's a strength hero. Your damage is spammable, and you don't really care if he respawns. Like as long as you have mana left, you can just kill him again. And it would give you you don't care about Lich at all, and it would give you some wave push. I agree it's pretty weird and like having OD carry and then you pick Zeus. It doesn't feel very standard, but on the other hand, neither is their lineup, right? They have a Morph Tinker with a jungle Wraith King.
Maybe Axe could have went for Meteor Hammer, go into Meteor Hammer. Don't know how well that would work, but might have worked.
Could have. I mean, more hammers. Hammer is definitely underrated item. Like we saw how much work pretty much, I don't know, like 80% of your team's building damage was by the OD with the hammer.
Yeah.
So yeah.
True.
All right. So yeah, I mean that's more or less it for this game. Again, I have to say, like, they weren't. It's not the. It's definitely an interesting game, but there weren't that many moments to talk about, like specific moments, other than just like general movement and a bit about itemization and whatnot. So yeah, what we can do is, for the next lesson to plan is to basically, you say you kind of play all roles, all heroes.
Yeah, well, usually it's periods, so sometimes I'll be like really into playing off lane. Like usually my most played lanes are, before it was mid lane, then it was off lane, but then I had to play like support all of the time because I just got fed up with ranked games because everyone's picking the course and I'm like, I'm sick of arguing with everyone, let me just pick the support. So it's like, recently it's just like course and whatnot because it's all unranked, low priority or whatever. But in ranked games, if I get a core, I'd like to play core, but sometimes you cannot do that.
Okay. So are you still up right now, or you got out of it?
I think I have one game left actually. So probably it's going to be over today.
I mean, look, okay, I see. Like you have 9 versatility. Like being versatile is good, but for the purpose of, like, it's up to you. I'm not forcing you or anything, but it could be easier to like learn this stuff.
Improve on the general gameplay with a
Yeah.
hero you're comfortable on, instead of like being focused on using your spells correctly. And
Exactly,
like,
yeah, exactly. So
yeah, I know what you mean. I definitely think it would be better if I just focus on at least one lane, if not just a few heroes. To
yeah,
sort of,
it really doesn't have to be super narrow, but I would say like
yeah,
having a couple, like 2-3 per role, that's already gonna make things a lot easier.
all right.
Because yeah, basically you're gonna have the stuff like itemization and like it's realizing the heroes, you know, when is the hero strong relative to other heroes, of course, and in what matchups, all that stuff.
Yeah, I was kind of spamming Storm Spirit, so maybe the next lesson would be on Storm Spirits only.
Okay.
Like,
Yeah,
like
that's
if you scroll down, like after the 3rd of March, like you see like there's like a streak of only Storm games or whatever.
yeah.
And
I
most
see.
of them were unranked, because like I didn't want to spam it in ranked, but
Hmm.
then I was like, okay, let's try it in ranked or whatever. So mostly I was losing, but whatever. I didn't care too much. Yeah, so maybe I'll try picking Storm whenever I can, if I get the mid lane. Then
Yeah, it's a really fun hero. I'd say his laning is kind of gonna hit a lot, but
yeah, it's hard.
it's definitely a hero that can, you know, kind of 1v5 in a way, because you're always so mobile. You can push waves really well. You get pickoffs, and you know, as a result, I mean, your right click is not bad for pushing as well. So yeah, we can definitely look at some Storm games.
Sure.
Yeah, just pick some game if you get to play some Storm games, and let's look at that. Doesn't really matter if you won or lost. Like, it can be a win as well, but as long as it's kind of even.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's cool. Cool. So, yeah, I'll look at the document as well. See if I can put down a note on some of the points if I think of something.
Yeah, I'll try to kind of summarize also what we talked about, and like, well, what to focus on basically. I mean, we can like I say now, like, for the games you're gonna play with Storm, just try to put your emphasis on basically the stuff we talked about, like having the lanes, and just try and see like how that really influences the game. Like, you can overdo it a little bit, it's fine.
Okay, yeah, so that's another question. Like, let's say so the idea is push lanes whenever you can, sort of, like, in general. But then you're a hero on Storm, you have solo Q potential. You have to balance it out with sort of waiting next to the lane, so that someone comes and tries and clear it, so then you kill him. So I kind of try to do that. Maybe I overdo it in the sense that I'm waiting too long, and then I have to go and push the wave. Maybe, I don't know. We will look at the Storm game next time, maybe, but that's sort of also maybe hard to balance. Something I find hard to do, because at one point of time I don't want to show on the map, but on the other point in time I want to be pushing the lane, because you know it's good to push the lane to give you more information, you know, and farm and whatnot. But on the other side, like, the enemy sees me, so I can't kill.
I mean, that's the thing though, like, especially here, like Storm is the reason it's a really good example is because you can really be anywhere, and as long as you have a TP, you're not ever really in danger, because you can always zip TP out, which means the whole map is kind of safe for you. Like, you can literally farm, you know, next to enemy base, especially in the early game, and like cut waves and stuff. And when you do that, like, it's so easy to kind of control how the enemies move. And that's why, I mean, because when you go for pickoffs, it shouldn't be like, oh, I would like to get a kill now, so let's go in the enemy woods and hope I find someone. Like, if you control the waves this way, and like focus on pushing the waves and stuff, it's gonna become like much easier to actually read like how the enemies are moving. And then when you get pickoffs, it's not gonna be like randomly running into someone. It's gonna be a pickoff that you set up, because you know what they're gonna do, how they're gonna react to what you do.
Alright. Yeah, makes sense. So yeah, I mean, we can discuss this after the call, I guess, when the next lesson you're going to be available and whatnot. But also, maybe we could look at the laning and do some 1v1s, maybe on Storm, because especially on Storm or some weaker laners, like, I feel like I don't know when to sort of leave the lane. Because sometimes it feels like, okay, I need to leave the lane at level 4. I know it's like, it sounds bad, but I feel like maybe it's better to just leave the lane now.
Yeah, that definitely is the case. I mean, that's kind of the main reason why that hero doesn't get played much, even though it's good. Like, even more extreme case would be Ember. Like, that's one of my favorite heroes.
Yeah. No.
But
yeah.
You just get destroyed on any lane, like, by almost any hero, and that's the thing with those heroes. Like, you just fall so far behind that, you know, like, let's take SF for example. With SF, the thing used to be that he's kind of weak against split push because he doesn't have any catch and he's not so mobile. But, you know, so in that sense, Ember was kind of good against SF. But what happens now is that, like, no matter, even if they're not laning against each other, like, the SF is just always, like, has twice the net worth of Ember.
He has 500 move speed.
Yeah, in the average game, like, the SF is going to be so far ahead that the split push doesn't really matter because he's already forcing fights and getting objectives and stuff. So, and then with Storm, it's kind of similar, not as extreme, but it's kind of similar. Like, if you do get, like, if you take Storm and SF with equal net worth, like, Storm is way stronger. It's just, like, that doesn't really happen. If you're equal net worth, then your team is probably winning anyway.
Right.
And, like, the way the average game plays out, like, SF is always going to be ahead. And that's why, like, those heroes are not super strong right now. But with that being said, you should try also playing some Storm safe lane. Because he actually matches up quite well against a lot of offlaners. And it just, yeah, like, the hero can definitely, you know, fill the role of carry, so to speak. Like, you can push waves, you scale insanely well. I still, like, the case is definitely that, like, a 6-slotted late game Storm is one of the best heroes in the game. Best late game heroes. It's just, like, getting there is hard. Like, that's why he's kind of weak right now.
Yeah, definitely.
Alright.
So, cool. Okay.
I'll just update the doc and we'll message again to arrange next time.
So, in general, like, what I'll do is, if you have something to add, but what I'll do is, I'll try to keep it a bit more focused. So, stick to 1 or 2 roles if possible. Maybe not focus on carry because I'm the least experienced on carry at the moment, but maybe just pick offlane and mid if I can. And then from this coaching session, I'll just focus on just not searching for kills just because let's kill someone in their jungle for no reason, but just focus on the lanes and sort of maybe try and think about the matchups more, like, and if I'm able to split push against their heroes, and if not, what can make me be able to split push against their heroes. So, you know, if I'm in that scenario where I need to split push, you know, I'm against the Void, how can I make the Void be afraid of me instead of I'm being afraid of the Void or something like that.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
And sort of reevaluate talent, but that would be hard probably because, you know, if I have my opinions at the moment, it's, you know, unless someone shows me exactly, okay, this damage is good because, you know, you get the attack speed time, because you get the orchid, because you need it for building push, which I didn't think about. I didn't think about the talent. So it's kind of hard to change it as I go, but then I can sort of try and think about it a bit more, like try and look at the other talents and like what items I'm going to be built and see if I synergize my talents with
just
those.
I mean, a good simple, I mean, like, we'll go over it and, like, you just learn as you go along, obviously, but the most simple thing I can tell you is, like, just to keep asking yourself, okay, I get this, like, I get this item, I get this skill build, this talent build, like, what can I do now that I couldn't do before that? And if the answer is nothing, then, you know, usually it's not that great of a choice.
And what? Okay, not to keep it too long, but what are sort of the questions of what you want to be doing with the item build? So let's say I'm building something. One thing would be like, okay, if I get this item, then I can kill this guy. But what are some other scenarios? If I get this item, I can split push more safely, maybe. If I can get this item, I can bully that guy out of the lane, and then I can split push. Or if I buy this item, I can push the tower better. So I guess those are some scenarios.
Yeah, I mean, pretty much. Again, it's really hard to say like for every hero because it kind of differs from hero to hero.
Yeah.
But like let's say there are some simple ones like which I'm sure you know, you're just not thinking about now. But like let's say
Oh, blink. Yeah,
force staff
Yeah,
against
yeah.
clockwork because
Yeah.
with force you can actually not get caught by him. Blink dagger against void. That's like the one way you can deal with the chrono is to be able to blink out of it, so it's harder for him to catch you. You know, I mean, Silver Edge against, I don't know, Tide, so you can actually kill the Tide, otherwise you can't deal with him. Stuff like that.
I get it. So yeah, just if it allows me to do something that I couldn't do before, like Veil,
Mhm.
does it allow me to do something more? Like, can I solo kill someone with the Veil? Probably not. Like, I get a bit more damage, but it's not. Doesn't matter too much. Like, it doesn't let me kill the Morph. Like, Lich is dead anyway, even without the Veil. So, like, Tinker, maybe I kill Tinker, but it's like, well, I would probably rather have a faster Orchid. Then I would be sure that I can kill him faster, since laser won't be an issue.
Yep.
Yeah, I see what you mean. Okay.
Alright. Well, glad it was useful, and yeah. Have a nice evening. I'll miss you again for next time.
Alright, cool. Thank you.
Alright, see ya.
See ya.
Alright, guys. I'm gonna go over the chat real quick. Haven't been able to read it. Knows what he wants to do, doesn't know what to do with. How to get 6k, just spam Red King jungle. Because people don't know how to end the game early. That's some top-notch conclusion. Man. Alright. Yeah, anal happiness. What you said is, I mean, that's kind of more or less where we're getting to. That running around, trying to get plays, make space, you know, it's not a reliable way to win. And it's not necessarily just being farmy, like being greedy kind of means also creating your own space in pubs, solo queue, which means, you know, pushing your own waves. Like you push the wave so you can give yourself space to farm modes. Yeah, Lounge Lizard, I will stream more regularly now. Probably gonna be every day. At least coaching, if not also some solo queue and FPL or whatever. Replay of my Storm game. The thing is, I haven't been playing much on this account recently. I can take a look at my last Storm game was probably a long ass time ago. Okay, yeah, like a bit over a month. And this was a loss. Yeah, Storm definitely not the greatest here right now. Oh, I remember this game. This was not a good game. I was tilted for sure. But I mean, I'll try to get some. Maybe I'll stream some Storm games tomorrow. If you're interested in seeing it. I definitely love the hero. Okay, this was a 5-stack game. Alright, this was a crazy game. Comeback against Mega Creeps. But the thing is, these are also old that you're not gonna be able to see the replay, even if I give you the ID. I mean, here's the ID, but yeah, this is definitely kind of fun game to watch. But yeah, sure, we can do some Storm games maybe tomorrow. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm gonna be oh, there's some more comments. Hey, got coach on us 5k. FFF, are you? Yeah, I think I remember. Triple F, I don't know if I still have you. Guess I don't. Or I don't know what your current name is on Steam, but I remember. Glad you made the improvement. Ember Spirit, I mean, pretty much same story as Storm, but even more extreme, like I mentioned. Just the hero's just so bad. I don't know if, yeah. This is the last game I have on this account, but this is all because I was on vacation and shit. I didn't play much recently. Not on my main, at least. Yeah, it's some party game. But yeah, just, I mean, I love these heroes. They're just not good right now. That's kind of just how it is. Anyway, thanks for watching, guys. Again, remember to follow everywhere. Twitch, Facebook, this, that. If you're also interested in coaching, check out the referral link. Make sure you use that referral link so actually get some kind of bonus. And yeah, I'm gonna be streaming more regularly now, so tune in again tomorrow. And what else? Yeah, I'm also actually working on a new site. Some of you might remember I've been saying that for like years. That was actually a different project, didn't really work out. Now I start a new project like a month ago. It's going really well. Gonna be launching in like 2 weeks probably. Pretty much just a site for Dota guides, maybe more in the future. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, I'm like super excited about that. It's gonna be hype. It's gonna be good. Gonna be posting about it on Reddit and stuff, so you won't miss it. But I'm just mentioning it now. And yeah, that's it for tonight. Thanks for watching. Okay, one last question. Would you say Ember is easier to master at the moment than Storm? Definitely not. I think Ember has always been one of the most difficult heroes to master. Even though Storm is also up there, like there's a lot more nuanced mechanics to Ember, a lot more potential to fuck up with Ember than there is with Storm. I mean, it should be simple enough that, I mean, whatever, it's kind of unnecessary to go into it, but yeah, I disagree.